Hey y'all, it's your old pal Jaime the cartoonist musician doing a vlog. It's vlog 283, I believe. And here we are, September. It's a Thursday. It's almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which you're probably wondering, hey, why are you doing this on a Thursday? You see Pickles back here getting annoyed with me. Yeah, why am I doing this in the middle of the afternoon on a Thursday? For those of you who don't know, I retired back in June. So I'm not working for schools anymore. And I did a couple, 3 weeks of retirement and then picked up a part-time job driving a non-medical transport company, driving for. There goes Pickles. I guess she's going to go off and do something away from me. And it's a decent job. I only work a couple, like 3-4 days a week. So I'm off like this week, Thursday through Saturday. And it's fine with me. It gives me time to draw and do these things. More importantly, right now, the news is, for those of you who also haven't heard, I am a grandfather. So I'm very stoked and happy about that. Of course, Pino, Aiello, my daughter-in-law's father, he's also the grandfather. Him and I are the grandpas. And his daughter Gina, my daughter-in-law, gave birth to a wonderful little girl, Cece. So we're all very, very happy, stoked, and proud. I've seen her already. I got to go back down and see her again. Hope to see her a lot. Like to see her grow. So and see what she turns out to be. So I'm very happy about that. So those two things are going on. I finished that 9-page story on my old pal Frank Stoff. Those of you who knew him, Frank Deadbeat Stoff. Not that he was a deadbeat, he was the editor of Deadbeat Magazine, a newspaper format that publication came out, I think, once a month, was it? I don't know. Something like that back in the 80s in the Haight-Ashbury, and I was one of the cartoonists. I met so many people through Frank. Frank and I got to be dear friends. I met, excuse me, I met Steve Lafler. You can catch Steve doing his vlogs on Instagram. Steve Lafler, Lafler. Great cartoonist and a good buddy of mine. Met him in the mid-'80s, like 85 or so, through Deadbeat Magazine. I met Christine Critter, Bruce Hilvitz. I already knew Dory Sita before this. And but through Deadbeat, I mean, I met all sorts of, legendary underground cartoonists like Spain Rodriguez, S. Clay Wilson, poets. So I got to get drunk with Jack Micheline. That was pretty cool. I got to meet Mojo Nixon and sit through an interview with him, with Frank. All sorts of stuff. So I finished that 9-pager of Frank, since he's no longer with us. And it's basically just how I met him and so forth, and how I found out he passed away, which was sad. And neither here nor there. I know I'm trying not to do too many stories where everybody's dying at the end of them. I guess I'm getting to that age. I don't know. That's done. And now this is all for the next issue of Tortilla number 8. And I'm now penciling in a story called The Great Soda Pop Caper, featuring my childhood friend Avery and I. And one of the harebrained schemes I hatched when I was 12 or 13 years old. I was quite travieso, a troublemaker back in the day. I wouldn't say I was so much of a troublemaker, but I had a little devil in my eye. We'll just put it that way. It's a funny story, though, I think. Anyway, and it's pretty innocent. So I'm working on that now. Hopefully I'll get a couple more stories done, then number 8 will be done. Let's see. I will be up in Seattle on November 1st for the Short Run Comics Festival. I can't quite remember where it's being held, but look up Short Run Comics Festival. I'll be up there hanging out. Thank you, Keith Knight. Keith has talked his sister into putting me up along with Keith at her place in Seattle. So I'm looking forward to hanging with Keith. Man, we haven't been in the same room, and we keep missing each other at all these different conventions. Either I go the year after he's there, or he goes the year before. It's crazy. So looking forward to that. So that's going on. I'm almost done writing the graphic novel version of Los Punkers, and I'm really looking forward to tearing into that. That is going to be cool. Those of you that got the 24 page, the 24-hour comic I did 10 years ago, whenever it was, less than 10 years ago. Well, it was more than that, actually. It was probably 15 years ago. I can't even remember. I still have a lot of those left. I'm not super happy with the artwork because I did it in 24 hours, and there's a lot more to the story. And that's just about my buddy Arturo, and I starting a punk band in Sacramento in the late 70s. When, Sacramento didn't have a scene yet. That wasn't until around 81, 82. So we're talking like 77, 78. And there were some new wave bands that were like featured a lot of the jazz players in town. They were older guys, like their mid 20s to early 30s, and amazing bands, amazing musicians. They were all like our musical uncles. We were teenagers still. We were like at the end of high school. And not only that, we were like these brown kids, and we were based in, a black neighborhood. So, you could put all the, pieces together on that, like how awkward it was. Like, how did this come about? So that's what the story is going to be about. Just how it germinated, what we went through. We had fun, and then how we, grew up, and as we got out of high school, and we still had, bands. Then Art moved out of town, then I moved out of town. Our drummer Bobby stayed in town. He went the metal route. He's playing drums in metal bands, and it's basically going to cover all the fun. I hope. So okay, I'm working on that. So that's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be a graphic novel, but I don't know yet how many pages it's going to be total until I go through and figure out per panel, per page. I know for sure it's going to be triple digits, at least 100 pages. And I don't know if I'm going to do it in color. I might. I do black and white, as those 3 or 4 of you that even know my work, which I prefer to do. I just love it. And less and less people are doing it. So I feel even pushed more and more so to keep it alive. Color's dandy and all that, but a lot of people are drawn, on tablets and computers, and I have that access too, but it doesn't feel natural to me. It doesn't flow. It takes me even longer, and I'm slow enough as it is. So anyway, that's pretty much what's going on here. I'm trying to think of anything else. Musically, I'm just playing over in the corner there. I have my acoustic, my Martin guitar, and one of my metal bodied guitars, my late 40s, whatever, metal body dobro resonator guitar. So a lot of open tuning, slide stuff on that. The Martin, I'm playing straight tunes and tunings like old blues. So I'm trying to learn finger rolling, Piedmont style, and and also doing open tunings, experimental stuff with that as well. So anyway, that's pretty much what's happening. As you can see, I'm indoors. I'm at where I live. I did go out to a park today. It's not that hot. It's probably low 80s. It's perfect. But the park was the closest one was just packed with people. I don't know what they're doing home in the middle of the day unless everybody else retired along with me. So anyway, that's it. Hope you're all doing well in these crazy times we live in. I don't care what political side you're on. I feel we shouldn't divide. We really all need to pull together, not just as a nation, but as a planet. The things, we're all on this boat together. I try to stay away from the political stuff. I already talked about, how useful phones are, but how I felt they were addictive. And I got some guy I don't even know start harping on me about how phones are important. And I was talking about addiction, and he then he unfriended me. So I'm like, whatever's clever. I'm sorry. Not what I was talking about. But neither here nor there. That's why I'm trying to stay away from almost anything controversial right now. It's just, I don't need the aggravation. I don't know anybody that does. Some people thrive on it. I have friends here online that bait people on each side of the political aisle. I'm both sides. They're baiting, and it's just not a time for that. I didn't want to get into that, and here I am, and I'm slouching again in a chair. I have this bad habit. I sit in chairs and I just start doing that. Anyway, again, I sincerely mean this. I hope everybody's doing well. We're already 10 minutes into my diatribe. If you don't want to listen to it, you don't have to. Leave comments down below, or however you see this. I love hearing from you, and I'll respond. I know I don't get online too much anymore, but I'll get on there eventually. Other than that, stay cool, stay warm, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and we're going to need it. And yeah, can't do that, I don't know what to tell you. All right, kids, thanks for joining me. I guess go ahead and thumbs up it, hit subscribe or something. I don't know. There's already 3 or 4 of you doing that, so don't want to get too crazy. All right, everybody. Talk to you later. Thank you for joining me. Bye.